Making administration's case. Kerry finds 6 words that spell trouble. NYTimes.com. Subscribe. Digital/home delivery. Log in. Register now. Help. Homepage. Today's paper. Video. Most popular. Edition. US/global. Search all NYTimes.com. Middle East. World, Africa, America, Asia, Pacific, Europe, Middle East. US. NY/region. Business. Technology. Science. Health. Sports. Opinion. Arts. Style. Travel. Jobs. Real estate. Autos. .NIT_series banner _simple width :950 px. Margin :20 px 10 px 12 px 10 px. .NIT_series banner _simple H5 font family :NYT Cheltenham, Georgia. Times New Roman serif. Font weight :400. Font size :14 px. Float :left. Color :black. Letter spacing :1 Padding right :8 px. Margin bottom :6 px. Text transform uppercase. .NIT_series banner _simple H5 a color number 000. Crisis in Syria. Listening Post. Making administration's case. Kerry finds 6 words that spell trouble. By Mark Landler. Published September 12, 2013. Washington. In the last 3 weeks, Secretary of State John Kerry has uttered tens of thousands of words about Syria, in congressional hearings, on Sunday news programs, from the State Department and the British Foreign Office, and now in a Geneva hotel, where he and the Russians are hashing out a plan that could avert a military strike. Live latest Syria updates on Syria. The Times is tracking the conflict and the international response. Multimedia. Video. Videos on the Syrian conflict. Related. Kerry insists that Syria quickly give data on arms. September 13, 2013. Syrian rebels say Saudi Arabia is stepping up weapons delivery. September 13, 2013. Related in opinion Vladimir v. Putin. A plea for caution from Russia. September 12, 2013. Connect with us on Twitter. Follow @NYTimes World for international breaking news and headlines. Twitter list. Reporters and editors. 6 of those words have gotten him into trouble. Making the case on September 3 for military action before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Mr. Kerry acknowledged the worst case that would entail American boots on the ground in Syria. 6 days later, at a news conference in London, he promised that any military strike against Syria ordered by President Obama would be unbelievably small. Critics on the left and right seized on Mr. Kerry's comments as proof of 2 contradictory theories about the president's threatened strike: that it would be a slippery slope to another American war in the Middle East, or that it was a token gesture that would do nothing to alter the deadly stalemate between the Syrian government and the rebels. In Mr. Kerry's zeal to persuade different audiences, administration officials concede he leaned too far in both directions. But these slips of the tongue laid bare a more basic contradiction in the Obama administration's Syria policy. It is a call for military action by a president who has desperately wanted to avoid being drawn into military action. Given his boss's ambivalence, it was fitting that what many initially saw as Mr. Kerry's third major gaffe, suggesting in London that President Bashar al-Assad could avert a military strike by immediately turning over his chemical weapons, instead set in motion a diplomatic process that might end up being Mr. Obama's salvation. With Russia taking up Mr. Kerry on his seemingly offhand suggestion, it now falls to the Secretary of State to try to work out an international plan to take over and ultimately destroy Mr. Assad's chemical weapons. With such a central role, his public statements will continue to receive a level of scrutiny unusual even for a Secretary of State. Mr. Kerry's early missteps are hardly unusual, but they have gotten more attention than those of his 2 immediate predecessors, Hillary Rodham Clinton and Condoleezza Rice. Former diplomats say, because of the intensity of the Syria crisis and Mr. Kerry's own intensity in responding to it. Every secretary I've worked with has said things that were impolitic, said Aaron David Miller, a Middle East diplomat who has worked for Republican and Democratic administrations. But Mr. Kerry, he said, has done so on a bigger stage than many of his predecessors. It's the combination of Kerry's supreme self-confidence, his desire to be out there, and his own forceful style, which has led him to an imprecision of language, said Mr. Miller, who is now a vice president at the Wood